Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to talk about another generator shed. Stuff that you can find all over YouTube on how to make these generator sheds out of a suncast shed like I have here, or out of spare lumber. You're going to find videos on how to make them even more quiet, how to make them more efficient to cool your generator. I have found that what I have done here does just fine for my generator and to power my house. So let's get into it. So as you can see here, I have a Predator 9000 generator that does just fine, powering my entire house. This is a 30 amp generator. I originally bought this generator to power my RV. Not thinking too much about what else I may need to power with it. Having lived in Northern Virginia for a couple of years now, I realized that we lose power quite often. So I needed to do this, and this was about a third of the cost instead of doing a Generac whole home generator system. This thing, again, will power the entire house minus my AC unit, which is good for the kids. I can keep TVs and game systems on for the kids. Refrigerator will stay on to keep the food good. And everybody's entertained. The house stays comfortable. We have a fireplace inside that heats the entire house, so that's all good. So I have an attic fan like most people use. I bought this one off of Amazon. You can pick and choose to see how many CFM you want to move to in and out of your generator shed. This does great for it. This doesn't come with a wiring, so you have to buy a separate wiring harness or a wiring electric cable for it. It's really easy to wire up. Just follow the instructions. It plugs right into the generator itself, and when the generator kicks on, the fan kicks on automatically and starts evacuating the heat. Here you'll see this is just a steel plumbing pipe that I had, and I kind of modified it. I had to grind out the inside to fit over the exhaust port from the generator itself. I left the spark arrestor inside the generator, and everything runs just fine. There's an exhaust wrap on this, and you can grab it right now. And it's kind of warm right now because I was just running the generator, but it does just fine. This is an aluminum flange that I cut. I have one on the inside, one on the outside. It does great. Like, I'm touching this, and this is actually still cool to the touch. And I just had the generator running for about 10 minutes. And then here you can see this is still some of the spray foam that I injected throughout the entire generator, or throughout the entire shed. It's a 3M fire retardant foam. It does great. I used it for the sound deadening, and then also for some of the fireproofing. Over here, this is how I run the cable in and out of the shed. It's just a blast gate that you use. Most wood shops use these for the filtration systems and for the dust collection. And then back here is just the vent. It's got a little screen over it to help keep some of the critters out. It does great. With these two things, with the blast gate open and that vent, I'm able to move enough cool air through the generator shed itself and evacuate it out with the fan. And I have no issues keeping the generator cool. It will probably operate at about 80, 85 degrees, no problem. This is a 10 gauge wire that I used. I run it underneath. I put a garage mat on here with it's 1/2 inch plywood just to support the weight of the generator. And then I also have a cable guard. You can see the cable guard in there, so that the grounding rod or the grounding wire itself isn't sitting directly on the wood in case there is some sort of malfunction, whatever it may be. And then on the back, you can see I have 2 grounding rods. It was an 8-foot grounding rod that I cut in half, and I buried it almost all the way down. So it's double grounded. And then you see where the grounding cable itself comes out. I just drilled a tiny 1/4 inch hole and ran it through there. And then I also have some foam. You can see the bulging or the bubbling of the shed throughout. That's from the foam that was injected to help with the noise and with the fire system, or the fire retardant. Again, here's the exhaust. I'm probably going to put an elbow on here to help direct the exhaust down so it's blowing straight out. Also help protect from critters going in, because you can see some water's gotten in there, starting to rust a little bit. But the aluminum flange will stay cool the entire time. The pipe itself will get incredibly hot. And then this is the fan. This opens up automatically as soon as you fire up the generator. The fan kicks on, that opens up. You have to cut a hole in the shed itself to make this fit, which to me messes up with the structural integrity of the shed. So I just put a wood frame around it to help support it. It seems to do pretty good. So as you can see, I went with a little bit different foam than what a lot of other people did. I didn't go with the rock wool. I went with studio quality sound deadening material. This does really good. It is fire retardant. You can find the videos on Amazon of this stuff, like holding a lighter up to it, and it does pretty good. It doesn't catch on fire. Sound doesn't like direction change, which is why I went with this one, and which is why studios use these types of sound deadening materials to help deaden the sound. It's really easy to work with. This is just glued on for right now, and having run this generator in the warm weather and with it running for 45 minutes, an hour, getting over 80 degrees in here, it has not had an issue with messing with the glue at all. So why don't I need insulation on the roof of this shed? Well, I'll tell you the decision that I made, why I didn't think I needed it, is in my neighborhood, almost everybody around here has a generator that they pull out of the garage and run in their driveway. So my entire neighborhood, except for one guy up the road who actually has a Generac, almost everybody else though creates a bunch of racket with their generators. So my generator and shed are already immensely more quiet than theirs. So I didn't feel the need to make it even quieter just because they're making more racket than I already am. So let's fire this thing up. I'm sorry I don't have a decibel meter to show you, but let's fire this thing up and I'll show you the difference between the shed open and the shed closed. So it does pretty good keeping it quiet. Again, I'm not too concerned about the noise at this point. It's between my house and my neighbor's house, and all the other neighbors run generators out of their garages. So this does pretty good and I'm happy with it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a good day.